Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. I've got a fun one for you today. DIYs for the man in your life with a little twist. We're going golf themed and adding some serious style to his garage or man cave. We'll be using Essential stencils, chunky wood blocks, and some gorgeous raw live edge wood slabs, and I'll walk you through exactly how to prep and finish those slabs to bring out all the natural character. Of course, I'm also featuring one of our most loved pieces, our CNC DIY Factory round farmhouse style interchangeable frame with stand, customized today with a masculine sporty vibe perfect for his space. So grab your supplies, let's make something he'll be proud to display. I'm Cindy, my husband is Chris. Welcome to CNC DIY Factory. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming DIY decor ideas. For project 1, we are starting off with 2 chunky wood blocks from our scrap pile in the shop. I've already sanded these so they are ready to go, and I am painting the sides of these blocks with Fusion Mineral paint in Woodwick. This is one of my favorite paints. It goes on smooth, dries quickly, and is an all-in-one paint with the sealer built in. For this project, I will be using a new-to-me technique that I showcased on one of my most recent Facebook Thursday Night Lives. I first saw this technique from Melissa at Junk & Craft Treasures and was so intrigued I just had to try it. It's so simple and easy. All you do is add 3 to 4 different paint colors to your surface, and I'm using Fusion Mineral paint in Acacia Pear, Conservatory, and Bayberry. Then you spritz the paint with water, lay a piece of plastic wrap over it, smush it around, and then pull the plastic wrap off, and voila! You have a fun background for your project. Once the paint dries, it leaves a wonderful texture to the surface. There are so many ways to use this technique. I want to use this with pastels for spring, bright colors for summer, and all the fall colors for a rich looking background. Ooh, can you see blue and white for a winter scene? So pretty. I will be using 2 Essential Stencils from their newest Father's Day collection. One is from the I'd Rather Be Golfing set, and the other is from Dad Life. I believe these are available on their website, and I will have them linked in the description box below. The paints I'm using for these stencils are Liquitex Titanium White and acrylic paints in Tuscan Red, Forest Moss, Country Gray, and Peppercorn. I will also be using Essential Stencil's mini stencil brush set, and these have a synthetic dome bristle and are perfect for small spaces. When using these synthetic brushes, it's important to note that they hold more paint than the natural bristles do, so be sure to offload them very well before applying to your stencil, or you may find you have some bleed through. You want to have a very dry brush when stenciling and apply multiple layers for more coverage. That way your lines stay crisp and clean. Stencils have the little bridges that keep all of the pieces of the design together. And depending on my project, I'll use the Essential Stencil detail brushes and paint in those bridges for a cleaner look. To finish off these 2 pieces, I am using Wise Owl varnish in matte finish. And here are our golf-inspired shelf sitters for the man in your life who enjoys the game of golf, as well as a bit of dad joke fun. Handmade with love. For project 2, I am using a raw live edge slab from Miller's Rustic Sawmill in King City, Missouri. I'll have their website linked below if you want to check them out and get your own live edge Missouri native wood slab. They ship all over the U.S. and have many varieties of hardwoods to choose from, as well as hand-cut shapes of many different varieties throughout the year. I'm also going to use an IOD transfer from a retired transfer set called Exploration. I wish IOD would bring more of a masculine style transfer back into their collections. I feel this transfer is perfect for the masculine or academia style decor. And as you can see, this transferred so easily and beautifully to the raw wood slab. I am using another Essential Stencil, and this one is from last year's Father's Day collection, and it is called Father. I believe this might be available on the Essential Stencil website. I'm going to create a base layer of paint with Fusion Mineral Paint in Woodwick. I'm using an Essential Stencil natural bristle stencil brush in the 1/2 inch size. Their stencil brush sets come with 4 different sizes to choose from. When stenciling, I will load my brush with paint and then offload onto a lint-free towel. I want to use a fairly dry brush and apply a light coat of paint, applying very little pressure, swirl the bristles over the stencil. This helps to ensure clean lines. Once I have the base coat down, I will dry it thoroughly, and then I'm going to reapply my stencil. This time I am shifting my stencil slightly up and to the left. This is going to create just a small shadow of the Woodwick paint once I apply the titanium white over the top. I will apply 2 coats of the titanium white in order to get full coverage. After the paint is completely dry, I am using a product called Wood Honey by Total Boat, and I'll have their website linked in the description box below for you. This Wood Honey is an all-natural, food-safe wood finish and is made here in the USA. I am applying a liberal amount of this wood honey to the raw wood, and it brings out all of the beauty in this piece. I'll coat the entire piece and then set it aside to absorb into the wood. After about 24 to 48 hours, depending on your environment, this should be completely absorbed and sealed. And this can be used on wood cutting boards, butcher blocks, bowls, utensils, whatever, to seal and protect the wood, not to mention bring out all the gorgeous colors in this natural wood. Dads are so important to a family, and this beautiful piece can be a reminder to them of how much they are loved and valued. For Project 3, I am using our CNC DIY Factory round farmhouse style interchangeable frame with stand. I will have this linked in the description box below. I am painting the frame with Fusion Mineral Paint in Willowbank. I'll paint the front, the back, and the stand with 1 coat of paint. This paint covers so nicely. And it has the built-in sealer, so I don't have to seal this once I'm through. For the interchangeable round piece and the inner frame circle, I am using Blue Pine from Fusion. I love this combination with the Willowbank. It is masculine and they complement each other so nicely. I'll paint one side of the inner frame circle and both sides of the interchangeable round piece. On the round frame, there is a circle scored into the frame to indicate where the inner frame circle is to be adhered. I'm using Stick Fast CA glue in the thick formula to glue this inner circle to the frame. Once I have that adhered, I will set that aside and work on the interchangeable round piece. I'm using 2 stencils from the new Father's Day collection, I'd Rather Be Golfing set. I like the Essential Stencil stencils because they are made of a thick mylar, but they are still transparent enough that you can see through them to line them up on your project. I'm using the Liquitex titanium white paint and the Essential Stencil mini stencil brush with the synthetic dome bristles. After applying 2 light coats of paint on my stencil, I will dry it and flip it over to the other side and apply the second stencil. These stencils are a 6x6 and are the perfect size for this interchangeable frame, as well as for our farmhouse style maker's frame in 6x6. And I can add the link for these frames in the description box below if you want to check them out. I designed the maker's frame specifically with crafters and creators in mind. I really like the versatility of this round farmhouse style interchangeable frame. On one side of the round insert, while your man is golfing, it can display the keep calm and swing on sentiment. And then while he is not on the course, it can display the I'd rather be golfing. It gives a bit of whimsy to a masculine display, don't you think? I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this frame. It is so versatile, you could use any sporting event imaginable. Let me know if the man in your life would appreciate something like this. For project 4, I am using 3 pieces of the raw live edge slabs from Miller's Rustic Sawmill in King City, Missouri, just north of Kansas City. They specialize in Missouri native kiln-dried wood that they cut and dry at their family-owned sawmill. I am pairing these 3 pieces with an Essential Stencils new Father's Day set called Man Cave. This set showcases grandpas, papas, and dads, but you could leave those out and just use the Man Cave. I will be stenciling these onto the boards using Liquitex titanium white and an Essential Stencil 1/2-inch stencil brush with the natural bristles. I'm showing you here that the brush has too much paint and needs to be offloaded onto a lint-free towel, or you could use a coffee filter as well. You want a dry brush when stenciling. This will keep the paint from seeping under the stencil and causing what is called bleed through. I like to use light pressure and a swirling motion across the top of the stencil for an even look. I prefer to apply 2 thin coats when stenciling as opposed to 1 heavy coat. I am applying the words Man Cave to each of the 3 boards and then adding in the grandpas, dads, and papas individually. This is a bit repetitive, so just sit back and enjoy for a few moments while I add these stencils to the boards. To tell you a bit more about the wood slabs, these are shipped with a 40 grit sanding, so when you receive them you might want to do a little sanding to smooth them down. I used a 220 grit sandpaper on all of these boards to get the smoothness that I wanted. I also sanded along the live edge to knock down any areas that I thought were too rough. I used an air compressor to blow off any sanding dust or debris that might be in the wood prior to using, but if you don't have an air compressor, you can just brush them off using a clean chip brush and they'll be just fine. If you have any questions about the live edge slabs, leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them for you. Once I have finished stenciling everything onto the boards, I will take my 220 grit sanding sponge and lightly sand over the stencil just to knock down any ridges made while stenciling. To seal and protect these boards and to bring out all the gorgeous colors in the natural wood, I'm using a product called Wood Honey by Total Boat. I'll have their website linked in the description box below. This wood honey is an all-natural, food-safe wood finish and is made right here in the United States. I am applying a liberal amount of this wood honey to the raw wood and watch how it brings out all the beauty and colors of these three pieces. I use a chip brush to get into the cracks and crevices of the live edge. After 24 to 48 hours, depending on your environment, this should be completely absorbed and sealed. Look at these beautiful pieces of live edge wood. It amazes me every time. Do you have a man in your life that would love to hang this unique piece of decor in their man cave? For our fifth and final project today, I am using a large board that I got from the Target spot a couple of years ago, and it was in my stash. This measures 24 inches by 9.5 inches. I'm going to start off using Salt Wash, which is a texture additive for paint, and I'm mixing in Marquee by DIY Paint. I'm also going to mix some Prom Queen with a little bit of Hey Sailor by DIY Paint in another bowl with the Salt Wash to make a cake batter-like consistency. I'm using a chip brush to stipple the paint mixture onto the board in random patterns for both colors. I will be using one more stencil from Essential Stencil today, and this one is called Dad's Garage. And it is a past release, but I believe it may still be available on their website. I'm using a 5/8 inch Essential stencil brush with the natural bristles and the Liquitex titanium white paint, and I will apply 2 coats of the white paint to the stencil to get full coverage. Once everything is dry, I will take my 220 grit sanding sponge and lightly sand over the top to give this piece a little bit more distress. So this piece looks way too new, and I want it to look like it has been in a greasy garage for decades. So I'm going to take this little black dress by DIY Paint, and I'm adding some water to make it a loose paint. I want to stain this board, not paint it. So I start by stippling on the black watery paint, and then I use my water mister and I mist the paint even more. Then taking my shop rag, I'm pulling back as much of the black paint as I want to expose the blue and red beneath, but I'm leaving behind a grungy look, and I am loving this effect. Now it needs a little splatter and maybe some more color added for effect. I am spritzing on 2 different colors of Distress Spray Stain by Ranger, Hickory Smoke and Gathered Twigs. This is exactly what it needed, and the video does not do it justice. Once this is dry, I will spray it with a matte clear coat to seal it all in. I really like this one. To see it in person, it looks like auto grease is splattered and smudged on it. If my dad were still with us, I could see this hanging in his garage. And there you have it, some easy, thoughtful DIYs that are perfect for the man in your life. Whether he's into golf, baseball, football, fishing, any other sport, you can totally customize these projects to match his passion. And that's the beauty of DIY. It's all about making it personal. These live edge wood slabs are such a rugged, natural touch and would look amazing in any man cave or workspace. And how fun is that Dad's Garage sign? It looks like a true piece of vintage memorabilia straight out of a well-loved garage. To all the dads, grandpas, father figures, and awesome men out there, happy Father's Day. We hope you know how loved and appreciated and celebrated you are, not just on Father's Day, but every day. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone who'd love these gift ideas. Keep practicing random acts of crafting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.